All right. Welcome in, everybody, to Monday's edition of Daily Bread. Coming at you live right at 4 o'clock on the East Coast, the number one spot to be week in and week out to make sure you're getting paid from the bookie via Cash App or Venmo each week and not sending that money back to them. Because the show is powered by the Wise Guys Diamond Club. Be sure to be checking them out on Twitter. Be sure to be sending them a DM today. You won't regret it. We are live on Twitter at Daily Bread Media. Give us a like and a retweet there. We can't feature your comments, but YouTube's the number one spot to be. We appreciate all of our subscribers and our chat out there. Everyone who tuned in to our show yesterday, you kind of heard our early thoughts on the two NBA games, and we were joined by Crispy Captain, Jammer Bets, and Finesse the Book, three of our friends in the content atmosphere. So I hope you all followed them and gave them a follow yesterday and tuning into their stuff. But Sosa, it's Monday. Sixers play tonight. How you doing? You're on
Doing
mute.
great, man. As usual, great start to the week yesterday. Uh, excited about tonight. Excited about this Sixer game. Excited about the Suns matchup. And excited for hockey. Hockey's going to be crazy.
Yeah, you got a hockey play for the viewers tonight?
No,
No, but shaking your head.
absolutely not, sir. I got nothing for hockey. Y'all should have caught Bleed Green Bets and That Sport Guys Spaces yesterday. They broke down every single series and gave you their best bets for the series. Obviously, hockey props during the playoffs go crazy based on who you deal with. Y'all should definitely check them out for the hockey on the internet. Um, the Warriors took care of business. The Bucks took care of business. So yeah, everything pre-series is looking pretty good. Everything's looking pretty clean. Um, as far as
The drama is still there, though, even though it was clean. And Ja just missing I wouldn't say a gimme, but it wasn't even that close.
you know what, man, I can't be mad at the kid. He definitely did his thing for the most part of the night. Just came up short there. Just came up short. Everything was going left though, so he was pretty he was pretty predictable with what he was doing offensively. I'll just say that that Steph Curry block or deflection or whatever you want to call it. Um, that wasn't by mistake. They knew where he was going and what he was trying to do, and he ran right into it. That's got to be better. Got to be better. So
I will say, other than that, didn't need to watch Sunday Night Baseball. Not much to talk about there.
nah, not at all. You guys are just not it right now.
No, sir. But today's episode, as you're saying, there's plenty of different options to get your NHL chat or action, as well as Barry saying you can go to the Diamond Club to see what Andy is on. Shout out to our man Sam, Jer, everyone who's in the chat with us every single day. Dan, Sosa, let's just get to the action. We'll go through the MLB slate, the remaining one that's out there. No, Nerfies came through in the first two games today. One was extremely juiced out there. But
Whew.
Sosa, are we starting at the 640 game between Arizona and Miami, or are you
We
taking us
are.
elsewhere?
We are going to that one, and we're going to ride out with our boy Pablo Lopez, who's been absolutely lights out all season to start the year. He looks good. The entire rotation in Miami looks pretty damn good. Um, they do lose close games, though. They do have that problem with getting offense, but today we're depending on them to get us through the first five on the run line at minus half a run. To take their money line at minus 170 is definitely a good anchor for a parlay. Um, but Pablo Lopez, I think, gets us through the five, and I think they can they can be up through 5 innings. So we're going to go with Miami first five run line at minus 108. And obviously, this is just a play on on Pablo Lopez. Zach Gallen's also been absolutely lights out so far this season for the Diamondbacks. That's why you have a 6.5 on the over under. They're expecting both pitchers to absolutely dominate. Um, one of them might end up imploding But I would veer towards Pablo Lopez still having a very quality start. I think both guys have the ability to have a quality start here today.
Yeah, I knew we had to go to that one for your guy Pablo.
Yes, sir.
What else are we liking on the board?
I am on. Hold on. Phone up. The Seattle Mariners. Um, they've been 50-50 as of the start of the year. Odorizzi has been a guy that we faded in the past. Also on a travel day. I'm 100% inclined to bet on the Seattle Mariners first 5 money line at plus 110. It's a fade of Odorizzi. Odorizzi's a middle of the pack starter who gets loved because he was on a championship winning team. Still his only calling card for being anyway relevant. Has been the most average of starters over the last 3 seasons. Yeah, give me Seattle on the first 5 money line at plus money. You're muted. You're muted.
Seattle, I feel like they've been on the road the entire season so far this year. Not something they're struggling with, but with them, I like the fate of Odorizzi. I just want to try to see when we can get them back at home. You've been reading the Yankees pretty well, but Montgomery's on the mound tonight, and the Jays are a home dog. Tell me it's not too easy.
It seems like it, doesn't it? It feels like it. Yeah, it just feels like I would do the plus 1.5 but then again to put in a parlay, but Toronto's looked very, very, very average to start the season. They have not looked good. And the only guy in the lineup that seems to be doing anything is George Springer, sprinkled in with a home run every 4 or 5 games from Vlad Guerrero. The rest of the lineup's been pretty shitty. They're looking like they're missing Wayne Simeon a lot. Is it Wayne? My man from that went to Texas?
I'm blanking on it as well, but
Yeah.
because you
But
got the
Yankees
just
they look like they're missing him a bit as far as like him being a table setter last year and getting on base a lot for the cleanup guys. But if anything, I would go with them on the money line if I were to pick them. But that would be it. It would be like a full game thing. It wouldn't be the first 5. I think that they can get to Montgomery, but then both teams outside of both teams can have problems with overusing their bullpen. They have a lot of bullpen guys that pitch 20 plus. It's Marcus Simeon. Why was I thinking Wayne? That's a dude that played ball at Kansas. That's who it was. But yeah.
I was about to say Yanks. It could be the first time they face an L in a while. They swept 3 straight squads, but it was the Guardians, the Royals, and the O's. So how much can you take about it?
Yeah, no quality teams in that listing right there.
Anything else we like in the MLB tonight, or should we just get straight over to the NBA? Because there's nothing in the MLB that's getting my action on this Monday slate, to be honest.
Yeah, no, the slate's quiet. It's a travel day. Don't overexpose units on tonight in baseball. I would play a couple of basketball games, and I have a couple of plays in the basketball games that I've already played. But other than baseball on Mondays can be a bit,
All right, let's get over to the NBA, and I'll be back in like 2 seconds.
All right, so let's get into the NBA. The first game tonight is the Phoenix Suns versus the Dallas Mavericks at Phoenix. And as we all know, I'm not the biggest Chris Paul fan on the planet, but I do like this game to be veer towards more of a Phoenix win, simply because DeAndre Ayton, being the best big man in the series, should be able to dominate to some extent. While I like Luka Doncic in a playoff setting because it allows for him to play a lot of ISO basketball, which is extremely effective. uh, during the NBA playoffs, and it fits his style of play. The playoffs are made for a player like Luka, who can dominate the ball and still get his teammates involved. But it is a DeAndre Ayton series for me. If any player should eat in this series, is DeAndre Ayton. If he doesn't, he will squander himself a lot of money because he has every opportunity here against big men who aren't very physical to have an opportunity to go crazy. We don't know how good Devin Booker will be back from injury. He was not looking 100%. He did look like he struggled a bit. Um, I mean, obviously he shot terribly from the floor, but I guess from an emotional from an emotional standpoint, it helps having your best player on the floor. Like that makes sense to me as to why he played. Um, but again, for me, in this game one setting, I think Phoenix wins. I wouldn't fault you if you went with Mavs first half. Um, but taking them on the full game, this just based on matchups, I think this is 5.5 is a number I stay away from. It's a purgatory number, right? Like 5.5 is just not there. I would take if I were to take Dallas on the spread, it'd be the first half. They keep the game close, keep it physical, keep it low scoring, block down the pace of the game, and keep it within that 3. But that would be my only look, not the full game. And of course, I look at the spread.
Yeah, and here I love the Mavs to win this series outright, but it's kind of the first one. I don't think they're getting it here. And what you said, the numbers in that purgatory range, it's exactly the way that it's summed up and solid to be because I think Luca, he can do it. We saw them get 2 games against the Jazz without him at the same point. I think the Mavs, and it could be a different, maybe a mantra, if they took care of business cleaner in one game they lost on a volleyball lob. So you can't really fault them that much there. And I'm still not going to be trusting Chris Paul. The plus 200 is calling my name here, but I think I'm just going to wait it out to have a nice play on game 2.
All right. I'm like I said, I'm veering towards the Suns tonight. The 5.5 sounds good until Luke and them are down like 14, 15 and they bench everybody. And like I said, first game one it's all going to be if Devin Booker comes out tonight and he looks good, I think this game this they Phoenix runs him out the gym. That's just my personal expectation.
All right, let's get to the Sixers game here. 7.5 point spread. Everyone's hating on our man Harden. What are we thinking?
That 7.5 points in a playoff game is disrespectful. I don't care if Joel Embiid's not playing. This is all based off reputation from from this heat culture bullshit that I talk about all the time. For me, I personally I'm taking the 7.5 points. I'm also on Tobias Harris to have a good game. I think Tobias Harris to get a double double is a very good play based on opportunity. He'd already been playing. He'd already been rebounding the ball at a high clip in the first series. Miami doesn't have a bunch of like intimidating bigs per se, and he's proven that he's a competent rebounder as a player. At plus 155, it's worth the bet for me. I would also veer towards Tobias Harris, just his rebounds alone for the game. I believe the number should be at 8.5. 7.5 is probably like super juice, but like 8.5. You play his 8.5 rebounds and him to get a double double. It's definitely worth the bet. Both at plus money. And yeah, I'm inclined to take the Sixers with the 7.5, unless Bam Adebayo decides he wants to just show up and starts killing. I don't expect it to be any. I don't expect it to be that big of a deal. I expect a close game down to the very wire.
Yep, I gotta lean with the dog here as well. This one, obviously. Doc gets the guys to step up when the main man is out, and I'm expecting that here with this one. The small man lineup, I think, can hopefully neutralize Bam because everyone's just going on the angle. And the one that I was on, that Bam should probably have one of the easiest games out there if he's going to be going against Millsap, if he's going to be going against Jordan, and if he's going against undersized small forwards trying to go against him, or Niang at that point. So that's where Bam can be the one that takes this game over and just makes it a complete no contest for Miami. But
absolutely,
I think Doc is going to be smart enough to at least take that wrinkle out. I think he'll be at least good enough to get there. I think it's just going to be on James at that point to get it over the finish line. And if he's doing what you say he's going to do tonight, then the Sixers should cover that 7.5 with ease. The outright, they need to get with the one in Miami for me to feel the confidence that they can get this series outright. Because still, for me, I still think this is going 7, and the home team is going to hold outright. But I like the dog to cover tonight at least.
Absolutely. If they try to play zone, we got to hit our shots. That's basketball. You're going to get wide open 3-point looks. You got to knock them down. Those Atlanta guys were getting wide open looks. They didn't knock them down. Simple as that. They forced the ball out of Trae Young's hands. One thing, the difference between Trae Young and James Harden, though, is this. James Harden is much more physically inclined. He doesn't get knocked off his spot. You can try to play physical with James, but James is strong enough and physical enough to figure out a way to make you foul him. With what they were, you're not, and you're also not bringing a double when with the perimeter shooters that the Sixers possess. Like I said, I believe James Harden has a good game tonight. I'm not going to bet a bunch of player props. I want to just see how the first game plays out, but 7.5 is absolutely disrespectful in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at with it. Sixers plus 7.5, minus 110. Anything else?
No, pretty short slate on a Monday. I mean, we had 6 MLB games that we got into. We gave you out plays on half of them. We gave you a play for each of the NBA games. For the NHL, Sosa told you bleed greed bets. That's Sports Guys, Andy is Sports. Those are 3 great outlets to go to be locking in the plays.
Danny or Tobias threes? Both.
We'll get the attempts. It just needs to be covering it and finishing it out at that point.
That's a fact.
I don't know, Doc. Let's see what you got up there. Let's cover that 7.5 tonight because it's the games that you step up.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know. I mean, you're selling me one of the pieces that Spo's coaching them up, but now against a good lineup, let's see. Let's not let some no names take over Maxey and those guys. But does Furkan play tonight?
Yes.
Oh.
Furkan and Shake play tonight. They both play.
Well, tonight. I know Shake would.
Furks for sure. Yes. Everybody sees the floor tonight. Everybody, because Miami will have times where they want to go to zone. They're going to try to go to zone because they always do it. At some point, they're going to try to play zone, and yeah, your shooter's got to see the floor. Simple as that.
All right. Well, that's today's episode of Daily Bread. We'll be coming back at you live tomorrow with a big full slate, so we won't have to mess around on the smaller one where the lines are a little bit sharper, but we appreciate all of you tapping in. Give us that like, give us that retweet. We're out.
Peace.